Hi and welcome back to the channel, and thanks for all the people that have newly subscribed. Welcome to this adventure, and we're going to be doing some amazing things along the way, and really we're going to be building this up. So this will become a lexicon, a library of all of the combined wisdom and knowledge and all of the teachings, all of the teachers, all of the amazing scope of ideas that I've harvested over more than 30 years now of exploring the nature of consciousness, of human potential. So this whole adventure is really kind of coming together now in the shape of the Trinity process that this channel is really focused on. So again, welcome, and today we're going to be looking at something. Basically, I'm going to be asking you to surrender your life to AI. And before you start jumping around, go, I don't want to surrender my life to AI. I mean ancient intelligence, not artificial intelligence. So what you'll discover, and what we all will discover along the way, is that actually ancient intelligence combined with future intelligence, so this knowledge and wisdom from the past, if we are able to use that and utilize it and adapt it and really kind of shape and sculpt it into something that we can utilize now, utilize fully. And in this process of us being able to regenerate and to upgrade ourselves, upgrade our consciousness, and to work very creatively to have that innovation, that sense of creativity and innovation, and bring those things to bear in our life, so that as we age, we effectively get better, we ripen. And there's an old saying that we only get old because we see other people get old. So much of what we're given in our culture becomes conditioned, learnt behavior. We learn what it means to grow old. We learn what it means to age. We learn what it means to have certain limitations. Now, there's nothing wrong with having certain limitations when those limitations are there for good reason. However, when we look into how we're educated and how we're given information about what it means to age, mature, then it's not very difficult to see how negative that whole sphere is. And of course, it's improved over the years. It has improved as there are more people. We're actually approaching a much older population. So it stands to reason that they're going to be offering more things to that age group, you know, over 45s and onwards. Now, this channel doesn't exclude anyone who's under that age, of course, because if you look out there now, you see that so many things really, so many people much younger are suffering the effects of aging, and effect also decrepitude and dis-ease, much younger. So with all of our new technologies, all of our new ways of looking at things, which of course have brought many benefits, but also haven't really enabled us to heighten the quality of our experience on any significant level, really. So there's more depression, there's more anxiety than ever before, probably. And what we're really looking to do here is to say, well, can we enhance our consciousness? Can we work with life in a way that is not only magical, but inspirational, highly creative, intuitive, that uses the very best of what it means to be human, but doesn't ignore the fact that there are technologies and new ways of looking at things and new ways of exploring reality. So we stay open, we stay responsive. So we open things up with, you know, kind of like the childlike curiosity, but with the wisdom of a mature, grown and highly responsive adult. So this is the process we're looking at. And today I want to teach you about how to bring magic to life in this process. And I'm not talking about kind of Harry Potter magic. I mean, that might be interesting. But really what we're looking at is, what do I mean by magic? And what I mean by magic is the ability to make something happen that wouldn't have happened under normal circumstances. It's really that simple. And ancient information, ancient technology of magic is really a very simple process that we can all bring to play. However, this simple process that I'm going to talk about today has enormous impact and enormous potential to keep us on track, and also to keep us transforming and evolving towards the most potent, the most vital, the most creative, and the most healthy in all respects person that we would love and want to be. The person that we aspire to grow into. And this process of growing into something is a wonderful process, because it means as time goes by, there's a sense of excitement, there's a sense of anticipation. So instead of this sense of dread, this sense of, oh my goodness, another birthday, another year's gone by, am I wasting my life? All of these things crop up and they're all spinning around in the mind. And I'm putting this very clearly, that this way of orientating ourselves in life is learnt, conditioned behavior. And there's no need for that to precipitate and to be carried forward year after year after year. Now, today I'm going to talk about the symbolic world. And of course, as ever, I've got my slightly disorganized notes here. And this is, again, the process. We're always taught that things have to be done in a particular way, a linear way. And really what I'm saying is, it's like we have to create in this. We have to learn to bring our creative spirit to life and to keep our creative spirit alive in the midst of all the stuff that's going on. So in a way, talking about the symbolic realm. Now, let's look at this. In some ways, we never seem to, when I look out there and I look at many influencers and people that are talking about health and people that are talking about vitality, there seems to be a extreme lack of this understanding of how magical the world is and how magical we are as beings. We are magical beings. We are mysterious beings. We actually don't know what makes us alive. Now, again, with all of this talk of AI and AI becoming conscious and all of this sort of stuff. Now, I don't know about that. And in a way, I feel that that is a distraction, because really what we need to focus on is that we are here. We're having a human experience. This is a human visceral experience. It's a human, emotional, intelligent experience, and it's a spiritual experience too. Now, whether there'll be, like in John Gray's books, whether he talks about, whether AI or technology will one day form a new kind of spirituality, who knows about that? But we're here now. And this idea of working symbolically is a very ancient way of working, but it's all around us all the time. We are influenced by symbols all the time. The symbolic world is speaking to us. And of course, the people that control the big systems out there all understand this and use this to great advantage, to, in many ways, manipulate us and bring us around to doing the things that they want us to do. And it's all goes down deep, unconscious, because there are many levels to reality. And this is just a story like any other story. But then you could say I teach many people about this, and what I'm going to teach you today has helped literally like hundreds, possibly thousands of people that I've worked with over the years to not only keep on track in terms of their own personal transformation, evolution and enhancement, but also allow the process to work through them. And it means that they stay strong, they stay powerful, they stay engaged, fully engaged in the process. So when you're fully engaged in the process, there becomes this kind of point where the things that would have normally thrown you off no longer have that capacity. So let's get into this. Now we look around and we talk about brands. There's brands everywhere. And we all know the most famous brands in the world. We see them all the time. They're ubiquitous. They're everywhere. You know, Apple, for example. And, you know, years and years ago when I was a designer and art director, I actually worked with Apple to create things. I worked with, basically myself and David Bowie worked with Apple to create some of the very first sort of interactive touch screens for the music industry. So I got to see into how these companies sort of work and how the branding and how this whole thing is put together and how utterly powerful it is to influence us and to get us to behave in certain ways. So if we use this is ancient magic, using the symbolic world. So you could say the way I teach this is that there's what I call the ontological primitive. So ontology, really the kind of a group of metaphysics which is really about the nature of being. So when we talk about the nature of being, it's like a human being. We are humans being. There's a sense of what it's like to be a human. So this is what this touches on, and this is what this enables us to explore. So we're able to explore the nature of being because we are the nature of being. So really, when we look at brands and when we look at how they affect our experience of reality, of the world, we can start to see that we can use this. We can use this to help us along our journey, to help us become the kind of person that we want to be. So this is what I'm going to suggest, is that when you work symbolically, you go from there's, like I said before, I'll just backtrack on this actually. There's the ontological primitive, which is really the symbolic realm. So you go from nothing, where there's nothing, and that manifests into the symbolic realm. And then from the symbolic realm, the next one up is probably the archetypal or the mythological realm. So these are all viewpoints into reality. These are all ways that we can look at reality. And like the archetype realm is really about human behavior and these patterns that repeat themselves throughout human behavior. So if you were to go back to the ancient Greeks or the ancient Romans or ancient Egyptians, these archetypes are very strongly emphasized in their religious practices, in the way they explored life. So these were very prevalent in all of those ancient ways of looking at reality. So the ways of looking like the Greek gods, these are archetypes. These are real patterns of how these certain behaviors manifest and are transmitted through the process of being human. Okay, so when we start to look at that, and then further up from the kind of the archetypal mythological, then we start to move up, and then we eventually come to what we would term our normal reality. And that in a way, that process becomes more and more complex as it goes up and up, until you reach the ultra complex and often chaotic structure of our world. So it makes sense that if we can work from that ontological primitive, the symbolic, whether we literally are kind of manifesting directly from the symbolic. And we have the opportunity here to create something. You have the opportunity to create something for yourself that will enable you to move forward in your journey, in your health, in your work, in your relationships, in all of these areas can be encapsulated in what I'm going to share now. Now, I'm going to put this up on screen because if you just take a moment and look at this symbol that's coming up on screen now. So that symbol represents me at my highest, most powerful, most resourceful, most joyful, most radiant possibility. Now, the whole point of creating something like that is not to turn myself into a brand. This symbol is for me. Now, it doesn't mean I don't show it to anybody or nobody else can see it. It means that it communicates for me. It encapsulates, it transmits, it gives birth to, it gives rise to that highest possibility, my highest potential. And I'm going to invite you to create a symbol that represents you at your very highest possibility, your very highest potential, the very persona and embodiment of a human being that you absolutely desire to be, that would bring you to life in the most extraordinary and yet unknown, amazing and astonishing ways. So this symbol is created by you. You create this symbol. And it doesn't mean that you can't mix other symbols that you find, that you find powerful, that you find that speak to you. But this is a symbol that you create for yourself. Now, whether you draw it or whether you produce it on a computer, there's many programs, even if you can't use things like Photoshop. I'm cheating a little bit because I'm a designer anyway, so it's pretty easy for me to put these things together. But now we have an absolute plethora of tools that you can use to help you in this process. Now, what this process will enable you to do, not only will it enable you to really get clear about who and what and how you want to show up in the world, your highest potential and possibility. What is it that you most want to give to life? What is it that you most want to represent, like the totem of who you are? What is it that you stand for in this life? And just don't hold back. Give it everything. Give it absolutely everything. And take some time over this. You don't have to be a graphic designer or an artist to do this. You are creative. Everyone has the creative spirit. Everyone is utterly familiar with the symbolic realm, even if it's not at the surface of your cognition. It's there, it's in you, it's working within you all the time. So you are familiar with this. This is something that you know about. But importantly, you're going to use this to represent you. You are going to not create yourself as a brand. You're going to create a symbol that works with you, as you, for you, about you, around you. And what you're going to do You're going to spend some time and you're really going to think about this. You're going to create a symbol. And it doesn't matter what that symbol is, as long as it speaks directly to you. It has to represent you. So once you are, I'm just checking here, is making sure I'm absolutely covering everything in this. So this symbol is then going to be used by you. So you will put this symbol up around your home. You'll put it on your computers, on your phone. You'll fold it up and put it in your wallet, in your purse, in your pockets. Now, this might sound extreme. And to begin with, it will be. But believe me, after a while, you won't need to be so extreme with it. Because what happens is it's very tricky to bypass the mind. And we try all kinds of tricks to do this and you know, willpower. And I don't know how about you, but, you know, willpower in many ways is not as strong as the entropic pull of the mind twisting around on itself, the negative thoughts, the worries, the regrets, the things that eat away and stop you being the best version of yourself. Now, all of those things aren't going to disappear overnight. You know, they're not going to vanish like morning mist. They're going to be there. They're going to be active. That's what the mind does. The mind spins round. The conditioned mind spins round on itself constantly. So when we're looking to do the part of the Trinity that will take us to have the fitness and the vitality of an athlete, now, when we're going to have the second portion that we know we don't need, or the, you know, the third slice of bread or something, whatever it is that we know that we don't need, but the mind just says, well, look, don't worry, you know, we'll pick this up tomorrow. Don't worry about it now. We'll pick this up tomorrow. Now, if that symbol is present when that happens, that symbol will act upon you. You are literally creating a piece of magic. Now, that magic is a guiding principle, a guiding energy, guiding you and keeping you on track to your highest possibility. And once you understand this, then you will just need to glance at that symbol. And that symbol will literally work its magic. You have impregnated it with the magic of your being as your most powerful, resourceful, and amazing possibility. And this doesn't mean you can't, I mean, many of you will have businesses and run business and you'll have logos and brands for those businesses, but this is for you. Now, you may say, well, I'm even running a business and my business has a logo. Now, that's fine. Leave it where it is. This is a separate issue, but eventually it could become incorporated into that. It could become that. But the primary reason is to work this way, to start working with reality in a magical way. And so many people will say, oh, this is just nothing. You can't. What's this got to do with enhancing yourself? What's this got to do with radically transforming your health and your consciousness and your creativity, the things that you can bring to life, the things that are possible? What has this got to do with that? And people will knock it away. and convince themselves or convince you. Other people may convince you, say, what's the point of this? This isn't, he needs to be telling you what to eat and how to move, how to exercise. And I'm going to be getting to that. But you see, the thing is that these simple things lay the foundation. They allow you to stay on purpose, to live on purpose. Now, the other thing with creating a symbolic representation is that they will allow you to stay laser focused, or they will facilitate you in staying laser focused. So, for example, the symbol that I showed you before, that I just put up on screen just very briefly so you can see it again, see how it represents. Now, for that, I wanted the representation of all the magic and wonder of the Starman, like the Bowie Starman archetype, the creativity and this sense of magical, other, mysterious wonder. I wanted the kind of the crown of the sort of shaman, bringing the shaman into that, the shamanic way of looking at things. And then I wanted this idea of energy and movement and creating this sense of the body moving in just this fluid, unusual, different ways, and feeling that sense of energy and aliveness. And I love the idea of spirit animals as well. So I wanted I've always connected with the lion energy. So I wanted this sense of the lion in there. So I literally created something that kind of fused or synthesized all of these different energies that represented who I want to be at my highest possibility. So I want that sense of kind of aliveness and, kind of intense connection to creativity and the ability to explore life through those creative eyes. And I want the kind of the mysticism, the sense of being able to journey into the dream realm, into the spirit realm, and connect with all the different energies, connect with nature of the shamans and shamankas. And I wanted this sense of beautiful sense of movement. Now within that symbol, I'm going to show you another quick clip. Now this is me doing jump rope or skipping. Now, before I created this symbol, I could barely just step over the rope. And this symbol constantly there, constantly out with me as I'm working with this rope. As I'm working, I got a sense to work with the fluidity, the figure of 8, the infinity of the rope, the spinning of ropes, the spinning and movement of ropes. And over time, this symbol worked on me. As I worked with the rope, this symbol worked on me. Always there on my phone, out with me when I'm practicing. And eventually, the symbol and me became that process. And the result or the possibility of doing that became exponential. I was able to literally leap past normal barriers, certainly for my age, leap past those barriers. And the symbol played really a key role in me being able to do that. And it will play a key role for you to be able to achieve things and stay focused on those achievements. And it symbolizes that sense of magic of bringing something to life that would not have happened under normal or ordinary circumstances. And we all know what the world of ordinary brings to life. And we're not searching for that. we're looking to go beyond that. We're looking to live in a way that allows us to have the most rich quality of experience. And when we're engaged in that, when we have the most rich quality of experience, then it's natural to want to share that with others, to want to bring that to life for as many other people as possible. Now, really, you could say the first part of my life was being an artist, being a designer, being a creator, moving through those worlds, indulging in those worlds, exploring those worlds. And really the second part of my life is being a teacher, to share the knowledge that I've gained over the years, to give that back. So as I become more vital, as I ripen, the process of ripening instead of aging gives me the vitality to share, and the deep desire, the deep inner energy that radiates out to want you to have the highest possibility, the highest quality of experience that you can possibly have. Now, the great good news is that wherever you're at the moment, this possibility is alive for you. Now, creating this symbol may just seem trivial. And really what this is that when we ignore these things, when we ignore these possibilities, these ways of working with reality that really do have power and have been downgraded, when we ignore and we fail to use those, then we're engaged in the normal world arduousness of trying to make things happen. So we go back to the power versus force. So power does not require endless pushing against something. So power is a natural process of love flowing through us. Whereas force depletes us of our vitality, depletes us of our energy. So what I want for you is to become stronger, to become more resilient, to become more resourceful. And this simple process of creating your symbol, of creating that representation of you at your highest possibility, will enable you to stay on track. It will be a reminder. It reminds. It brings it back into your mind. And it means that it enables you to override the normal egoic process. The mind that will make reasons, justifications, and excuses. So we talk a lot about this as we go along, reasons, justifications, and excuses. And nearly all of them begin with the word but. Yes, I would do that, but I'm too old. Yes, I would do that, but I'm too short. Yes, I would do that, but add your own. So once we're living through the buts, we become the but. We literally become a but, which is kind of funny, but really, at the end of it all, if we're here, we might as well go for it. And like I spoke about in my last video, there's no damn good reason to hold anything back. There's nothing to hold it back for. This version, this thing, this entity, this magical process of the individualized persona, which is you, will come to an end, and you will go back into the all and everything. So this here is an amazing opportunity to see life as an opportunity. What an amazing grace that is, to understand that the alchemy you work is through your life situations and circumstances that you are turning into gold, lead into gold. This is the process. This is the alchemy. This is part of the magic. Now, I invite you to go and create this symbol. Now, don't get hung up on it being the most amazing work of art. It has to speak to you and you alone. Now, whatever it is, if it's a circle, if it's a triangle, if it's guitar shaped, if it's a kind of creature or being, if it's got a color, if it's a form of geometry, you explore that for yourself and create it. Bring it to life and use it as a currency. The ability to remind you constantly about your highest potential and possibility. And what you'll discover is, like I said before, that when you are possibly going to fall off the path, if this symbol's there, all you will need to do is to just momentarily glance at it. And it will remind you why you're on this journey. It will remind you that having a high quality of experience, of living experience, is what you're engaged in. And it will remind you of all the joy and all the fun and all the meaning and all the value that you can drink from the elixir of life and give back to life. So please go and create your symbol. Don't hold back. Don't underestimate how powerful this process will be. It will get you to be really, really clear about who you are creating in this Trinity process. This is the foundation. These videos, the ones prior to this, and this, and probably a few others, will be the strong foundation, the launch pad, the thing that grounds you solidly into this process and enables you to stay in it and be part of it, and also reap the benefits much quicker. So I keep going back to this, bringing something to life that would never have normally happened, that wouldn't have happened under normal circumstances. That's true magic. If life had just played out as it was for you, this wouldn't have happened. And even the fact that you've come across this channel, you've come across what I'm exploring here, I'm on the same journey. So I'm bringing this symbol. This symbol represents my journey on this path. And it will keep me on track. It will keep me on track with what I eat, how I move, what I say, how I express myself. Now, this doesn't mean I don't fall off the path, and it means that you won't fall off the path. But having that presence of this symbolic representation, you are working at the most fundamental level of reality. So if any of you ever read Drunvalo Melchizedek's The Flower of Life book, that explains how this system of symbolic representation, these powerful geometries, these symbols, working symbolically, why it's so fundamental, and how it enables us to really engage in life in an incredibly creative and productive and magical way. So please, I invite you to go and do that now. Spend your time on it. Take it seriously. Really take it seriously. This is not a joke. This is something very serious. You know, and this symbol will empower you and enable you to stay on this path. Now, some of these things will become difficult to do. It will become difficult to stay on the path, to move forward with the things that you really want to do. Keep doing the things that you really need to do in order to enhance your life in the way that you want. You know, it's simple but not easy, as I often say. So please go away and do it. Make it a priority for yourself. And once again, please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to the channel if you're new to here and you haven't subscribed yet. We're building this very organically, you know, one precious subscriber at a time. And I really, really appreciate you engaging with what's going on here. And I know that it's going to be an enormous benefit to your life and the people that you love and everything that you're up to in this world will benefit from you engaging with this material and actually doing it, really doing it, bringing it to life. So thank you so much for your time. I really treasure and value your time in watching these videos. And I'm here to do my very best to give everything to help you create the kind of experience of life that you want to create. And I'm on that game too. I'm in that game too. I'm engaged in that 100, 200, 300, 1,000%. So once again, make your symbol, do it, prioritize it, and I'll see you back in the next video.